Coach, ready when you are.
Yeah. First, I'd like to congratulate, Creighton on a great year. And I've known Ed Service since I coached at Nebraska. I think he came into Creighton maybe my second year at Nebraska. And, man, they were so hard to beat. They didn't make mistakes. They could really field. Wasn't any fun playing them. And I have a lot of respect for him. And I know he's going to retire. But got everything that I thought we were going to get from Creighton. And that was a big-time effort. And guys that compete. I think we just played extremely well the last 2 days, and today we just came out and we got to sit around while they played, and to me our pitchers were amazing, and I think obviously Creighton was a little tired, and we didn't walk anybody. I think we struck out 20, and we hit 3 or 4 home runs. It was just it was a great game to watch if you're a Razorback fan, I would think, and just really proud of the team.
All right, questions for student athletes? Go ahead, Jackson.
Gage, a career high for you, innings and strikeouts tonight. Just what was working for you, and how special to do that in a regional setting like tonight?
It was awesome. It was even better doing it in this uniform and advancing. But I'd say mostly it was fastball, curveball.
Ryder, what was it like catching Gage tonight? Did anything different stick out, and how good was he from your vantage point?
Yeah, he's been really good all year since coming back, and I think tonight he was just competing in the zone. That was a big thing coming into it. It's still 60 feet, 6 inches, throwing strikes over the heart of the plate. Don't let the game get too big, and I think he did a really good job at that, so it was awesome to see.
How important was it to land the first punch tonight? Obviously, they played a game before you guys, but the 2-run home run from Maxwell, how big did that feel in the moment?
Yeah, in the moment it was awesome. Come out. You don't want to come out slow, and to get that in first, it was a good push from us. So yeah, it was fun.
Gage, you had just the one blemish with a 3-run home run, but you retired, I think, the next 7 guys. What was the key to bouncing back from that?
Just throw strikes.
Zach was telling us last night, Rue, that the plan was kind of like, they're not a Power 5 team. They probably haven't seen the velocity that you guys have. Just was that the plan again today, and just do you feel like the velocity really kind of impacted them?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. The home run, I think that pitch was like 94, one of my slower fastballs of the day. But, at the end of the day, he calls the pitches, I just throw them, and it was working tonight.
Ryder, I'm curious what your perspective was of Gackle coming in and closing it out.
Yeah, it was awesome to see. He came out throwing 3 to 4 pitches for a strike and competing in the zone, which was awesome. So.
Yeah, Gage, for you, to go from an injury and missing time to the peak of this moment, also a hometown kid, what did all that mean?
Everything. I've had this question a lot tonight, but I can't put it into words. It was great.
And then when you were walking off the mound at the end, it seemed like that was also a peak of emotions for you. What were you feeling in that moment?
I don't really remember it quite all that well. I just remember check swing, said he went, and the rest is just history.
Ryder, you and Gackle go back to your days of when you were younger playing ball together. How cool was it to have that moment with him in the 9th to be able to close out that game together and go to Super Regional round?
Yeah, it was awesome playing together since 8th grade, and it was back when he was wild, and he still can be wild, but to get to be able to do that on this stage, the job's not finished. Still got more to do. I think move on, enjoy this, but get ready for next weekend. So,
Ryder, the 5 spot and now the cleanup spot seem to have suited you well. What do you like about hitting higher up in the order?
To me, it doesn't matter as long as I'm in the lineup, get the at bats. It's good with me wherever he wants to put me. So.
You got a nice hitting streak going and 3 home runs here in the regional. Just your thoughts on how you were seeing the ball and what you felt this weekend.
Yeah, just sticking with my approach, not getting out of it, trying to get a good pitch to hit, whether it's fastball, slider, and just put a good swing on it. So.
I guess y'all are waiting on Wake Forest or Tennessee. I'm curious, y'all going to watch the game tomorrow, or do y'all have any plans for that yet?
Yeah, we'll watch. I'll watch.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Probably. I don't see why not.
More questions for student athletes?
Yeah, Gage, what was just kind of all of today like, just knowing that, from waking up to 8 o'clock that you were going to be the starter?
Oh, it was a really long day. I spent a lot of it just waiting around for the game to start, but I wanted to go out there, throw the first punch, and just go out there and help my team win a ball game.
And just for being idle all day, I mean, how do you kind of channel that when it comes to game time?
Really just keep your mind in a good spot and just get hydrated, good nutrition, and then once it's time to start moving around, get ready for your start, then that's when you start moving around and get to it.
Ryder, I think everyone in the lineup, really 1 through 9, has made a leap with their power this year, you included. I mean, after all the offseason talk, I guess, from us coming into the season, just how gratifying is it to see what the offense has been able to accomplish and take that next step this year to get to a super regional?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we let the outside knowledge really get to us. We knew who we are coming from the first day that we stepped on campus. We knew we'd be a really good team, and I think just letting our play show it. So I think that was a big thing. But, yeah, the noise is the noise. Just stick with us and play our game. So.
Hey, Gage, what did you see from Gabe after he came in and replaced you? And do you think there's anything that you did that maybe he was able to capitalize on, seeing that you had done it against their hitters?
He was nails. That was awesome. He came out just fearless. It was awesome. I mean, he was a savage out there. I think, what did he punch? 7 in 3 innings? Yeah, heck yeah, man. He's a guy. He's always been a guy. There's a reason, he's in that spot. He's one of the best pitchers in the country.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Fellas, heck of a job this weekend.
Thanks.
See you next weekend. All right. Questions for Coach Van Horn? Matt, lead us off.
Dave, kind of the same thing for you that I just asked him. Did you see anything that Gage had done over the first 6 innings that Gabe was able to capitalize on against their hitters?
Well, it seems like he hasn't really pitched in a while. We knew he was super fresh and he was going to have really good stuff. All we were really trying to do is throw the first pitch for a strike and get ahead of him. Wood has, 2 really good pitches, and sometimes he has a third. Gackle has 4. And we just felt like once we got through the 6th, if we brought him in and he was on, gave him a 4 or 5 run lead, then he could finish the game, and he did. I think just the plan was to attack. Root gave away our secret last night, and I should have told him not to say that about trying to, because, that's part of it, because, you look and see who people play, but it doesn't mean that they haven't seen 95, 96, 97. They probably just haven't seen it as much as we see it. But, when you have an off-speed pitch, like both of those guys have, that mid-90s fastball looks better. And that's when you can land that secondary pitch, and they both did, that's how you strike people out. And that was a great job.
There's already been a bunch of regional hosts that got eliminated from their home regional, and there's some others that are fighting through the losers bracket. To go 3-0, I wonder how fortunate you feel.
I feel great about it. I feel very fortunate. It's not easy. We've sat here 2 years in a row and we didn't get out of here. We went and won somebody else's regional in 22. In 21, we won a regional and got beat in the last game by a run to go to Omaha. I've kind of been on all sides of it, and you never take it for granted at all. It's like I told the guys, when we left Hoover, you have got to go earn it. Nobody's going to give you anything. You look at who's winning around the country. You start thinking you're all that. You'll get it handed to you. And these guys, they stayed humble and they got after it. And we get to hang out again together for at least another week.
In addition to the upsets, we're seeing a lot of crooked numbers all across the country this weekend, and you guys give up 7 runs all weekend. What was the biggest key for your pitching staff from Friday through tonight?
Well, if you look at it today and then you backtrack, we don't walk people. And, you may give up tonight we gave up a solo homer, a 3-run homer. But other than that, it's maybe a single solo homer. You're not going to get beat by those too much. We made them earn it. We didn't make an error all weekend. We didn't walk very many people all weekend. And, that's a good combination to win games at this level, at any level.
Dave, it looked like Gage maybe thought he had strike three earlier before the 3-run homer, but then gave up the 3-run homer. How do you think he worked through that and then bounced back to retire the last 7 he faced?
Yeah, it was a 1-2 pitch, and the umpire made a comment to Ryder because he's a good umpire. Jason's a good umpire, and he said it was a half a ball off. That's kind of tough to swallow. And, sure enough, you got, I don't know, a walk and a single and then a 3-run homer. And you're just kind of shaking your head. And I always tell the guys the game can turn on one pitch, one play, one call. I mean, think about the line drive that we hit that the second baseman almost caught. If he catches a double play and it's over, 4 pitches later, it's a 3-run homer. I mean, sometimes you love this game and sometimes you hate it. It depends on what side you're on. And it's tough. But our pitching staff just absolutely, pounded the zone for 3 days in a row and gave us an opportunity to get off the field.
You mentioned the 3-run homer. That was Justin Thomas. It seemed like he'd been hitting the ball hard. Then he finally got one. Just what did you see from him there?
Yeah, he stayed on a breaking ball. He was down 0-2, and I'm sure that breaking ball was supposed to be in the dirt or down and away, and he left it down the middle, and he hammered it. He stayed over it. He didn't pull off, and he smoked it. His next at bat, he lined out to right. He hit a couple balls hard this weekend that he didn't have any luck with, and, happy for him. And that was we went from 2 up to 5 up. Kind of like, wow, okay, now let's go. And, we scored another run, go up 6-0, and then obviously we're just about to get off the field. Next thing you know, it's 6-3, and the whole mood changed in the whole stadium. But our guys stayed strong. We said, hey, let's score a run. Let's find a way to score a run. Took us an inning or two to do it, but we did it, and then we just kept pitching.
Yeah, Coach, curious on the JTJ home run. Right before that, he was squaring around to bunt for you. Yeah, obviously you take the runs however you can get them, but was that something that, you're just trying to get the run in, give yourself another lead, and then he just hits the home run, or what happened there?
Yeah, we had a 2-0 lead at the time. We had a runner on, I think, first and third maybe, and we called the safety bunt, and he didn't bunt at it. It was on the outside corner for a strike, and then he took a perfect, another really pitcher's type pitch, down 0-2, I think, and then, or maybe it was a 0-1 count when we gave him the bunt. He didn't bunt, and then it was 0-2, something along that line. And, he did the same thing against Vandy, too. We called the safety, and he didn't bunt at it. It was 0-2, and the next pitch landed up there in the left field seats or whatever those are. So it's been interesting. It might have been one others like that as well. So, yeah, again, the game, it's amazing sometimes. It flips like that.
And he talked early in the season about how important Ryder's development would be, seeing him slowly creep up that batting order and have now 330 or so average. How important has it been for him to develop into what he has been so right now he's ready to go in the middle of the order?
Well, it was huge. We thought he could hit when he got here. And, but it's still the ups and downs as a freshman. You remember last year, he was hitting about 200 or so, and I would DH him against lefties because his batting practice against lefties is at bats against lefties really good. And then he went out and had a good summer, came back and had a pretty good fall. But really, and you guys might even not have noticed it a whole lot, but his catchings continue to get better. He's amazing back there. His blocking, you take it for granted. He squares up balls and keeps them in the hula hoop is what I call it right there. And it's hard to advance on it. He can call a 2-strike pitch, a ball in the, slider in the dirt with a runner on third. We're not scared of it because he's going to block it. And you can't do that with some guys, but he's become a really good hitter. He's powerful. And like I said last night or the night before, he can run. He's athletic. And he's taken his walks too. So it's been great. And, he's got a bright future in front of him. He's got his, really level-headed kid, as you know.
Gage is a guy who didn't make a whole lot of starts last year. When did you first have the vision that he could be, punching you to the supers?
We thought he would be a starter this year. Last year, we thought he'd be a starter. Going into fall practice, and obviously he started the first couple weekends and got hurt. Missed a couple months, and we've been bringing him back slowly. It's been up and down, or a real good inning and then not a good inning. And tonight it was like a little bit of a slow start to the first hitter, and then you could just see it getting better and better. And landing that breaking ball along with that heater, it messed him up for a while.
Is there something that you noticed in the rehab that stood out to you about his character or something?
No, just that he's just a good pitcher. We thought he was already starting before he got hurt. We just picked it up where he left off, but he had to get it all back together. When you miss 2 months in the middle of the season, it's hard because you're not just recovering, you're not throwing. And then pitchers, they got to build up. They get hurt if they don't.
And then just the idea of turning him loose in recent weeks. I mean, is this kind of what you've been
Like
talking
today?
about? Yeah.
Like just let him go pitch-wise?
Yeah.
So we built him up for the first 3 or 4 weeks, and if we would have played longer last weekend, he would have pitched, and he would have been able to go 80 pitches or so. And tonight he was right around 90. And honestly, he could have gone back out, but that was enough.
I guess Langrel threw that inning in the early game against North Dakota State, and then Creighton decided to start them just a couple hours later. Does that change anything in the approach, given how rare that usually happens?
No, he's a grad. He's an older kid, big kid. He's strong. They've used him. He's had like 25 appearances, and then he started against us. He was their closer, finisher, whatever you want to call him. We saw him throw like 14, 15 pitches, and yeah, we were glad to see that happen. We didn't care who won the game. We were hoping it was going to be like 17-16 and go 15 innings, but it ended up being tight, and they had to sweat it out, and then they had to bring a couple of their guys in at the end of that game. And it didn't surprise me. I've done that before. When you have a doubleheader, usually you don't have that much time in between. A guy maybe finishes, you run out of pitching. Hey, go give us a couple innings. Kind of stay warm. And I thought he pitched pretty good. We made a couple good swings on him.
I think we talked yesterday about the length of your lineup 1 through 9 being a threat, but they're also all home run threats. I mean, how much does that make a difference postseason time?
Well, you hit it out of the park, you score quick, and that's what we did tonight. I think we had 8 or 9 runs, and 8 runs, and all of them were from home runs. Few solos in there, 2-run homer, 3-run homer. Excuse me. And tonight it was big, but it's nice to know you got guys in your lineup that can hit doubles. Like I always say, doubles turn into homers. You start getting a little older and a little stronger.
Coach, you talked yesterday about not having to say much to the guys pregame. You've talked about the maturity of the group all year long. Just how impressed were you with the mentality, not taking anything for granted this weekend?
Yeah, I was really impressed. I told him that, and I was proud of him for that. I talked to him during the week a lot before practice, in between when the pitchers and the infielders or position players were all together, because sometimes we're not together, and just would talk about things. And I always tell the guys, if I got something to say, I'm going to say it, because I'm not one of those guys going to run out there right before the game and just try to think of something to say, because they know you don't have anything to say. They're smart. So I didn't go out one time, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I didn't need to. They were ready.
One question for Coach. I hope you don't mind me asking, but it was a lengthy exchange, so I'm just curious what you added in the handshake.
I just told him that I really enjoyed competing against him, and how fundamentally sound and hard his teams were to beat over the years. And he told me that he said that I was the fiercest competitor he's ever coached against. And I just said, well, I appreciate that, I think. But I have a lot of respect for him, and he'll probably be in pro ball now doing something. His brother was a manager in the big leagues, and he probably just felt like it was time. I don't know why we didn't talk about that, but it was a good exchange, and I appreciated it. But I wanted him to know how much I respected him and his teams, and he kind of said the same thing. We play the same way. We just play. We play hard, and there's not a lot of that other stuff going on, and he appreciated it.
Coach, great weekend.
Okay, thanks, guys.